We talked about the winter weather and how that has played at least somewhat of a part in some of those other airline delays. But listen, the winter weather is not over, with Buffalo, New York, trying to recover from what has become the deadliest storm in that area in at least 2 generations. We're learning now today that more than 30 people have been killed because of the storm over these last few days. And to put this in context, right? Blizzard conditions. That's like whiteout conditions, crazy wind, tons of snow. 37 straight hours is what they saw in Buffalo. That's the longest blizzard condition situation on record since 1950. Look at this video from a Target employee in one of the suburbs of Buffalo. You had some employees and customers stuck inside the store for more than 50 hours. It was so bad. Look, how were they supposed to get home? Right? Look at those cars. They couldn't, so they stayed inside the Target for something like just about 3 days. And by the way, today, still snowing. A few more inches, with crews working overtime to try to clear what they can, and rescues happening, even though in some places driving bans are still in place. It's been lifted mostly everywhere else, though, as Marissa Parra understands. She is live for us there in Buffalo. Talk us through what you're seeing, right? Because in Buffalo itself, people are not supposed to be out on the roads. But at this point, you've got just bare minimum parents who may need diapers for their kids after being stuck at home for 6 days. You've got people who may need to get to the pharmacy to get medication, etc. What are people supposed to do? What are they doing?
Right, and that's the difficulty here, right? You hear that a giant blizzard and a snowstorm is coming your way. The expectation is you run out and get what you can to hunker down, but we don't know what the situation is for people here on the roads. We do know that there is that travel ban in effect, but just to give you one anecdotal example right here, we just saw someone pull up to one of these houses behind me, and that was actually somebody who drives a snowplow. So it's very possible that a lot of the people you see driving past us on these roads are part of the crews that are trying to deliver not only emergency services, but maybe perhaps trying to clear the roads behind me. You can probably just make out the road behind me here. It is largely passable on some of these larger roads, but as you drive further into these neighborhood streets that you can't see on the other side of the camera, it is still a mess. It is still very hard to get through. So, Hallie, when we talk about why that travel ban is in effect, why they say please do not drive unless you need to, remember, there are people who are having emergency events, or maybe people who need dialysis. So they have folks with the state and even on a national level helping out with those assistances like dialysis to make sure that those people get the help that they need.
So then what's next, right? What are we hearing from officials there who have been trying to keep in regular contact and giving constant updates here on the situation and how they're trying to help folks recover, with the expectation as they're bracing for the potential to find out more people, in fact, have been killed?
Right. So I think this step right now is trying to make sure that anyone who is stuck somewhere has been recovered. And so far, by all accounts, that seems to be the case here in Buffalo. We know that there are people that are in warming shelters. Maybe they had to abandon the cars that they were inside of. But I think in terms of what's next, it's getting those cars that were abandoned off the roads so that they can then clear those roads and then hopefully try to get Buffalo back bustling to where it was, where you can drive on these streets before we have this large snow melt. Because, Hallie, in terms of what's coming next, we have a warm up in the 40s and 50s expected this weekend. So you're not only going to be having all of that snow melting, it's got to go somewhere, but we're also expecting rain this weekend. So I think flooding will be the next big major concern here.
Yeah, it sure is. Marissa Parra, we're glad you're there for us in Buffalo. Keeping an eye on all of it. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.